Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My camera makes me look a little bit funny. I'm not 100% sure what it is about this camera. It's maybe a little bit too powerful, or it makes me look very, I'm not sure what it is, but opaque. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway. Uh, I hope you guys all had a great Sunday in the house of the Lord, and that you went to church and worshiped the Lord. It's, and yeah, I got this idea. I got this idea to do this song. I got an idea to do a song uh, about the hostages, uh, and so I wrote a little song. It's a very little song, and the song is from. I've talked about it before, but I'll show it to you. There's a verse in Zechariah chapter 9. Zechariah 9. Okay. And Zechariah 9 is a amazing chapter. All of the book of Zechariah. He's probably the main prophet talking about the Lord Jesus in his first and second coming. Next to Isaiah, he's probably the number one. Isaiah, of course, is number one, but then um, Zechariah is his book is small. He's considered one of the minor prophets, and minor doesn't mean that he's any less than the others. It just means that his book is smaller, and his book is like 12 chapters or 14 chapters, excuse me. But his prophecies are so right on, so clear. He talks about the king riding on a white donkey, coming into Jerusalem riding on a white donkey. He talks about God being sold for 30 pieces of silver. He talks about the 30 pieces of silver being thrown into the temple. He talks about the 30 pieces of silver being used to buy a potter's field. This is the level of detail that he has. Talks about wounds in the hands. Just an interesting prophecy. He says, somebody says to his friend, he says, "What are these wounds in your hands?" Just a phenomenal accuracy in his prophecies about the first and second coming of the Lord. He prophesied that the Messiah in his second coming is going to come to the Mount of Olives. So you got allusions to the crucifixion, allusions to the betrayal, allusions to the ascension, allusions to, it says, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. The fact that he's a shepherd, the fact that everybody was going to leave him once he was betrayed. The more you talk about Zechariah, the more you look at his book, I don't know if he's the one that the Bible talks about who was killed between the altar and the temple. Now, Jesus does say the prophet Zechariah was killed between the altar and the temple. But I've heard that was another Zechariah. But I'm not 100% sure, but it may be this one. And when you look at the degree of accuracy in his prophecies, just mind-boggling accuracy, in his prophecies that is really amazing. Yeah, I really love the prophet Zechariah. And but chapter 9 also talks a lot about Gaza. There's a lot of prophecies about Gaza in Zechariah chapter 9. Let's look at them. And you guys, some of these prophecies some people have said that these prophecies already been fulfilled. But quite often there can be a prophecy that'll be fulfilled more than once. That it'll be fulfilled in one sense, but then it's going to be fulfilled again. I think the clearest example of that is the prophecies about the coming of Elijah. That before the Lord comes, the prophet Elijah is going to come. And we see that happened when Jesus came, because Jesus said that John the Baptist was, in a sense, Elijah. But then there's another coming of Elijah in the before the second coming. And I believe that's alluded to in Revelation chapter 11, where it talks about the two witnesses, the two olive trees. And so prophecies sometimes are fulfilled more than once. Okay. And so if you look at these prophecies and you look at Gaza today, it definitely looks like this prophecy is being fulfilled right now in front of our eyes. But here's what it says. Now, I'll tell you some of the reasons why. I'll tell you both why this could be about now and why it might not be about now. Okay. But like I said, it could have been about another time, but then it could be fulfilled again. And just listen to what it says about Gaza, and then study it out yourself and see if you think. I think it is about the present and about the future. Okay, and it may have been about the past as well. Okay, but this is what it says, and I think it's important also to keep in mind. I think it's real important to keep in mind that this was written by Zechariah, and Zechariah, just so that we get my information correct, Zechariah was after. He's one of the few books in the Bible that was after the Babylonian captivity. Okay. He was after the Babylon. This is after they came back from the Babylonian captivity and they were rebuilding the temple. And Zechariah was one of the prophets. Who, okay, there was three prophets of the post-exile. They were Zechariah, Haggai, and Malachi. Okay, Zechariah, Haggai, and Malachi are what you call the post-exilic prophets. And Zechariah, let me see what it says. He was a prophet in the late 6th century BC. So he would have been close to the time. Okay, let's just read this here. It says Zechariah is a Jewish text attributed to Zechariah, a Hebrew prophet of the late 6th century BC in the Hebrew Bible. The text is included as part of the 12 minor prophets, itself a part of the second division of that work. In the Christian Old Testament, Zechariah is considered to be a separate book. One of the three prophets from the post-exile, after the exile. Zechariah's prophecies took place during the time of Darius the Great. And chapter 1 through 8 of the book are contemporary with Haggai, the prophet Haggai, which was the prophet Haggai, which was the one that prophesied about rebuilding the temple after the Babylonian captivity. And then the 9 through 14, often referred to as the second Zechariah, are thought to have been written later in the 5th century during the late Persian or Ptolemaic period. Scholars believe that Ezekiel, with his blending of ceremony and vision, influenced the visionary works of Zechariah. Now, Zechariah's got some wild visions. About the horses, has this prophecy about this woman in a she's like in this basket, and a stork comes. These storks, which are unclean birds, come and pick her up and take her to Babylon to build her a house there. And there's some people who think that woman is Mystery Babylon from the book of Revelation, and different theories about who this is talking about. These are the kinds of things that are in the book of Zechariah. Just amazing, amazing prophet. Okay, so anyway, so it would have been in the 5th century BC, like around between 400 and 500, I mean 500 and 400 uh, years before Jesus. Would have been like, during the time after they had come back from Babylon, and they were working on building the temple. It talks about the high priest named Joshua, and there's some people who say that really is kind of can be called a prophecy about Jesus, in a sense, as Joshua is the name Jesus, Yehoshua. So there actually you have the name of Jesus being predicted in the book of Zechariah. It just gets more and more amazing. And even if it wasn't directly about Jesus, still, it's, these prophecies often have two meanings. It could have a meaning. For instance, when, an example of this also is like when the Isaiah talks about the king of Babylon. He talks about the king of Babylon in Isaiah 14, and he prophesies to the king of Babylon. And as he's talking to the king of Babylon, all of a sudden he shifts gear, and all of a sudden he's talking to Satan, the spiritual king of Babylon. He starts out talking to the king of Babylon, the natural one, and then he shifts into talking about the spiritual king of Babylon. And so you see that, sometimes that happens. That also happens, by the way, in Ezekiel 28, where Ezekiel is talking to the king of Tyre. But as he's talking to the king of Tyre, all of a sudden he starts talking to Satan, who is the spiritual king of Tyre. And so, sometimes in prophecy, this happens, that it could be talking to a person named Joshua, but then it's talking about Jesus, actually. Okay. Or talking to both. Okay. Yeah, Zechariah is phenomenal. So anyway, I just want to kind of give you a little bit of background about Zechariah and the fact that when he lived, that these, you see, I don't think that these prophecies would have been about the Babylonian, the king of Babylon coming and destroying and taking over the Middle East. I don't think that it would have been about that, because he was after that. And so that's one reason why I believe that these prophecies have not yet been fulfilled. But let me just go ahead and read it, and then we'll talk a little bit. Here it says, a prophecy, the word of the Lord against the land of Hadrach, and will come to rest on Damascus. You guys, Damascus is a city to keep your eyes on. There's so many prophecies, and a very devastating prophecy about Damascus. And I hope it's wrong. I hope we're interpreting it wrong, but it is scary. It says Damascus will cease to exist. We haven't seen that prophecy fulfilled yet. Okay, but this will come to rest on Damascus, for the eyes of all people and all the tribes of Israel are on the Lord, and on Hamath too, which borders on it, and on Tyre and Sidon, though they are very skillful. Tyre has built herself a stronghold, and has heaped up silver like dust, and gold like dirt in the streets. But the Lord will take away her possessions and destroy her power on the sea. She will be consumed by fire. Now, here's where it starts getting close to talking about Gaza. Okay, it says Ashkelon will see it and fear. Now, Ashkelon in the Bible was a Philistine city. It was controlled by the Philistines. There's 5 Philistine cities. There's Ashdod, Ashkelon, Ekron, Gaza, Gath. Gath is where Goliath was from. Okay, and so Ashkelon is one of the Philistine cities. Okay, now today Ashkelon is an Israeli city, and it's right on the border. It's right outside of Gaza. I've been there many, many times. Been arrested there. I have been. I've been taken to the police station there many times because I used to always ride the bus from Jerusalem to Ashkelon, and they would always come and take me off of the bus and take me to the police station. It got to the point where one time they took me to the police station. I mean, they tricked me. You know, they're supposed to take me to the bus station, but they took me to the police station instead. They said, "There's a Palestinian going to Gaza, and he's here at the bus stop." And so they took me, and the police chief came out to look, and he said, "Oh man, not him again. Take him to the bus stop." Because it happened so many times. But anyway, Ashkelon today is an Israeli city. Okay. Ashdod. Okay. All right. And Gaza. Okay. But this is what it's talking about. It says that Tyre, you guys, is Lebanon. Tyre, and all of these cities, by the way, are coastal cities. All of these cities, Tyre, Sidon, Ashkelon, Gaza, Ashdod, all of these are coastal cities. They're all on the coast. And you can look up and you can see in the distance from Gaza, you know, when I was there, you can look up and see Tel Aviv. I mean, or Haifa or something, you know, you can see way far away because they're all coastal cities. Like California, you know, from San Francisco to Los Angeles, you know, it's all coastal. And this is the way it is with Gaza and Ashkelon and Ashdod. So anyway, Ashkelon will see, and so is Tyre and Sidon. So Tyre and Sidon, and it's not really that far, but it's going to be set on fire. And it says Ashkelon will see it. Now, you guys, Tyre and Sidon are very much in the news today. They're very much in the news today because that's Lebanon. This is the land of Hezbollah. And today, Hezbollah was attacking Israel a lot. And you know what? What you do is you got 2 pieces of the puzzle here. You got Hezbollah here in Lebanon, and you got Hamas in Gaza. And they are both controlled by Iran. And they're both Iranian proxies. And so when they want to distract from Hamas, they get Hezbollah to start firing rockets. And Israel has to go focus on that. And then, you know, so anyway, you got all the players in the war today are in Zechariah 9. You have Tyre and Sidon, which is Hezbollah, Lebanon. Hezbollah, Lebanon. Okay. And then you got Ashkelon. Now, Ashkelon, like I say, today it's an Israeli city. It's not a Philistine city. It's an Israeli city. Very, very, it's a beautiful city. I've been there many times. And it's a very prosperous Israeli city. Ashkelon will see it and fear. And then here is where it begins. Gaza will writhe in agony. Now, this is, I believe, what's happening right now. Gaza will writhe in agony. I believe that's what's happening right now. You know, I mean, it's happened so many times. I lived there 6 years and it was writhing in agony back then, but not like it is now. It says, and Ekron too will lose her hope. Her hope will wither. Now, Ekron, I'm not exactly sure where Ekron is, but I think it's a little bit more inland. It's not one of the coastal cities, but it was one of the Philistine cities as well. Then it says this, Gaza will lose her king. Who has been the king of Gaza, you guys? That's right. Ismail Haniyeh, you know, Hamas. Gaza will lose her king. Ashkelon will be deserted. Now, you see, this is one of the reasons why I think maybe this isn't about right now, because Ashkelon is an Israeli city. And so I don't know how it'll be deserted now. If you're talking about the cities, other cities near Gaza, there's all those other cities near Gaza that were attacked in October 7th, and they have been deserted. They have been deserted. There's like 100,000 people that moved away from the borders because of these attacks from Hezbollah and Hamas. So a mongrel people will occupy Ashdod. Now, Ashdod is also an Israeli city, a very beautiful city, and it's also close. I believe it's Tel Aviv, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gaza. It goes like that. And I will put an end to the pride of the Philistines. Now, the Philistines don't exist anymore. Now, the Philistines are not the Palestinians. The Philistines, even though in Arabic, when you say Palestinian, the word that they use is Philistine, which is Philistines. Okay, but it's not the original Philistines of the Bible. The original Philistines of the Bible, existed in the time of Abraham. Remember the Philistine king? And the Philistines who persecuted Isaac and Jacob, and but those Philistines, and also, Goliath was a Philistine, and there's always war between the Philistines and the Israelites, and they took the Ark of the Covenant, and so those Philistines don't exist anymore. The Palestinians today are Arabs; they're not Philistines. Okay. I will take the blood from their mouths, the forbidden food from between their teeth. But this is the good part. This is the prophecy that I see that I have great hope for. It says, those who are left will belong to our God and become a clan in Judah. Those who are left will belong to our God and become a clan in Judah. That's why I don't think there's going to be some United Nations government that's going to take over Gaza. It says they will become a clan in Judah, and Ekron will be like the Jebusites. Okay, and the Jebusites were among the 7 nations that the Israelites were supposed to conquer when they came with Joshua. They did not conquer all of them. Jebusites were actually around Jerusalem, and Jerusalem, the name of Jerusalem used to be Jebus, which is Jebusite, and it was changed to Jerusalem. But they became Israelites. So, but I will encamp at my temple. Yo, boy, yay. Are we talking about a temple here? I don't know. And guard it against marauding forces. Yo, boy. Never again will an oppressor overrun my people, for I am keeping watch. Dang. And then, you guys, look what happens here in Zechariah 9. Rejoice greatly, daughter of Zion. Shout, daughter of Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly and riding on a donkey, on a foal, on the colt, on the foal of a donkey. There's 2. Okay. And remember when Jesus sent the disciples to get the donkey, that he said, bring the donkey and the foal, like the child. And I've heard that the donkey is going uphill and then the foal was for going downhill. I'm not sure. I've heard that. So anyway, that's predicted here. The first coming of the Messiah into Jerusalem was on a donkey. But look at chapter 12 of Zechariah, and it's about the second coming of Messiah to Jerusalem. And he's coming as God in his glory. So you got both comings of Jesus to Jerusalem in Zechariah. Here it's the first coming. And this is Jesus was so aware of this. And that he told them, go get the donkey, and he fulfilled this. And this, by the way, this day when the king came riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, it's also the exact day that Gabriel told Daniel that the Messiah would come to Jerusalem. Because Gabriel told Daniel that 70 weeks are for your people. Well, those 70 weeks are divided into two periods. There's a 69 weeks and 1 week. The 69 weeks ended on this day when Jesus rode into Jerusalem riding on a donkey. So this day is so important. And remember when Jesus was talking to Jerusalem, he says, "Oh, Jerusalem, if you had known this, your day." He was talking about a particular day because God told them exactly the day he was going to come to Jerusalem. And he had gave it through the prophet Daniel, but they didn't believe it, or they didn't measure it out. So they didn't, they missed it. He says, if only you had known this, this day, the peace, the things that belong to your peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. So it's awesome, awesome, awesome stuff, you guys. Okay. I will take away the chariots from Ephraim and the war horses from Jerusalem, and the battle bow will be broken. He will proclaim peace to the nations. Okay, now let's talk about Jesus now. His rule will extend from sea to sea and from the river to the ends of the earth. Okay, and now here, you guys, is where this is where remember I told you a song for the hostages. This is the song that I wrote. It was from this next verse. It says, "As for you, because of the blood of my covenant with you, I will free your prisoners from the waterless pit." This right here, they're just done talking about Gaza. And then it says, because of the blood of my covenant with you, I will free your prisoners from the waterless pit. And you guys, I know there's more than one meaning here. I know that there's so many spiritual meanings, but I wonder, is it not welcome, babe? I wonder if there's a natural meaning in this too, that he's speaking to the hostages, that he's going to rescue them from the waterless pit. And they're in Gaza, they're in the waterless pits in Gaza. He says, I will free your prisoners from the waterless pit. I don't know, I'm not saying it's a prophecy, but I do believe in prophecy. But anyway, so I want to show you guys now the song that I wrote. Okay. And it's from this verse of Zechariah. Boy, did I totally went to China and back. This is all an introduction to my song for the hostages. So it's on TikTok now. So I wrote this song yesterday, and I just recorded it a little bit today. Let me see if I have it right here. It's not that melodic a song, but it's called Song for the Hostage, an Arab song for the hostage. An Arab song for the hostages. Okay. So. As for you, because of the blood of my covenant, will set your prisoners free from the waterless pit, and I will set your prisoners free from the waterless pit. Okay, there you have it, guys. That was my song for the hostages. So anyway, that's something that I was doing today. And so uh, on October, that was the last great day. On the last great day of the feast, the great day, Jesus stood up and said, "If anyone thirsts, let him come to me and drink." Okay. I mean, did that was when Jesus said that, was that the day of the, was that on October 7th? When Jesus, oh, really? Okay. Because it was on a holiday. October 7th was on one of their holidays, and Jesus was there in Jerusalem on on those holidays. So thank you, Houston. That's an interesting observation. Very interesting observation there. So all right, you guys. Well, you know what? Since it's early, I wanted to kind of I got some Arabic videos that I wanted to play for you, and I'll translate them for you. But these videos, you guys, this was on Egyptian television. And what this guy is saying is that when you know, the Muslims go to Jannah, you know, the paradise, that they're not going to be having sex there. There's not going to be any sex in Jannah. You know, the number one thing about Jannah is all the beautiful maidens and the, you know, little boys flying around, and, you know, eternal sex, and, you know, all the things that the Christian Prince talks about. And but this guy, and he's an Egyptian, and it was on the Egyptian television. He came on and he said, "You know what? When you go to Jannah, there's not going to be any sex. You're not even going to have sex organs. You're not even going to have sex organs," according to this guy. And this is a very famous television personality in Egypt. And so let's just look at what he has to say here, because it's I think it'll be a source of great great despair. Let me see if I can let me see if I can bring these videos up here. Okay. Yeah, when I first saw this, now I've done something about this before. It's been a long time though. Let me see if I can bring these videos here. Okay. Okay. Another. Let me just look here. Okay, this is it. First of all, let's hear some guy say that there's a lot of sex in it.
بزوجة، فعندك واحدة زوجة، زوجتك اللي في الدنيا، ثم 70 حورية معها حلالك، ثم مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، أصبح كم عندك من امرأة؟
Okay, so that guy says you're gonna have your wife, then you're gonna have 72 wives, virgins, and then with them, each one of them is going to be 72 other women. So let's.
هذا أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات، مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
Okay, this guy says, and what if you had 4 wives? Okay, so if you have one wife, with that one wife, you guys, he's preaching in the mosque. If you have one wife, when you get to Jannah, you're going to have 72 wives with her. And each one of those 72 women that, that they're going to get 70 maids, and they are also for your pleasure. And so 72 women. Okay, you guys, we need a calculator now. We need a calculator. Just 1 second here. Let me get my phone because I have a calculator on my phone because things just got, preachers are not very good mathematicians. And so, all right. So I'm here to help. Okay, so if you had one wife in this lifetime, so you have one, plus you get 72 women, that's 73. And okay, with each of the 72 is 72 more women. Okay, so you got 72 times 72, because each one is going to have 72 servants, equals 5,184. You're going to have 5,184 women. Oh, but you know what I didn't? I didn't include your wife. So it'll be 5,185 women you're going to have in paradise. Let's watch that again, just so you don't say I'm making.
بزوجة، فعندك واحدة زوجة، زوجتك اللي في الدنيا، ثم 70 حورية معها حلالك، ثم مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، أصبح كم عندك من امرأة؟
Okay, you guys, I made a mistake. He didn't say 72. He said 70. So you're going to have your wife, and then you're going to have 70 of the virgins. And then each of those 70 virgins has 70 more virgins with her. So it's actually 70 times 70 equals, 4,900. You're going to have 4,900 women, and plus your wife. Okay, so it'll be 4,901 women that you're going to have. This is just the regular guy. Okay, just watch it. I want you to look at how happy.
بزوجة، فعندك واحدة زوجة، زوجتك اللي في الدنيا، ثم 70 حورية معها حلالك، ثم مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، أصبح كم عندك من امرأة؟
Okay, guys, and this isn't just in the mosque. This is on TV, you guys. This is on TV. This is on TV. Okay, so 4,901 women. This is for you heard about 70, but the thing is, one thing you don't hear about is that each one of these 70 virgins has an additional 70 women who serve her, or her, who are with her. So you get them too. So that's 4,901 women. Okay, now listen to the second one, because he goes into more mathematical explanation of what happens if you have more than one wife in this life.
أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات، مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
Look at those guys. This is worth watching again. Look at all those guys sitting around.
أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات، مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
Okay, he's telling you, now what if you have 4 wives in this world? Okay, the 4,901 is if you have one wife in this life. because with that one wife, you get 70 virgins. But if you have 4 wives in this world, each one of those wives will get 70 women for you. So you get 70 times 4. Okay, so 70 times 4 equals, okay, this is if you have, you guys, please understand, this isn't for everybody. This is only if you have 4 wives. Okay, if you have 4 wives, for each of those 4, you get 70 virgins. Now, I've never heard this before. This is brand new to me, that if you marry 4, for each of those 4, you get 70 women. But then each one of them has 70 women with her. So you guys, I'm not a mathematician, like I said, but I think I can do it this way. 4,901 is how many you would have if you had 1 wife. You just say it times 4, you know. You have 19,604 women. Okay, according to this guy. Okay.
أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
Okay, guys.
بزوجة، فعندك واحدة زوجة، زوجتك اللي في الدنيا، ثم 70 حورية معها حلالك، ثم مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، أصبح كم عندك من امرأة؟
Okay, so this is the first part, and then this one he says, you know, you have 1 wife, and halalak. Halalak means what's permitted to you is 70 women along with her, and then with each of these 70 women, there's 70 more, so it comes out to 4,901 women. This is if you had 1 wife, and then if you had 4 wives, then for each one you get 70 women, and each one of those 70 gets another 70 women with her. Comes out to 19,604 women if you were married to 4 women. You guys, don't be saying that Steve said that you're going to get 19,604 women if you get to Jannah. That's only if you've married 4 women in this lifetime. So, you know, please don't misquote me about this. You guys, this guy was on TV preaching this. And look at the guy's walk.
طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
Look at those guys sitting around doing the math in their head. It's on TV. It's not like this is something that's hidden. This is on Hayatna TV. Our Lives is the name of the channel. Our Lives. So anyway, so that's 19,604 women. But I got bad news. I got bad news because there's another guy. And this other guy says, just one little detail that they didn't tell you, you're not going to have sex organs. You're not going to have sex organs in heaven. So this guy's also very famous on TV, okay? And let me just play it.
في الآخرة أول ما بنموت مفيش أعضاء تناسلية ولا أعضاء إخراج، مفيش براز، مفيش بول. أنا بتكلم أهو بقى بتفاصيل التفاصيل علشان الحتة دي عاملة مشكلة وكله.
Okay, this guy says, as soon as you die, okay, he says, you're not going to have sexual organs. Okay, you're not going to have organs to go poo-poo. Okay, I'm serious, you guys. That's what he's saying. La kharaj, excrement. You know, that's what he says. There's not going to be urine or excrement. That's what he just said. There's no urine or excrement. Okay, and you're not going to have the organs to do them. You're not going to have sexual organs or, forgive me, you know, an anus. Okay, this is what this guy is saying. There's not going to be no urine and no poo-poo. Okay, so let me just play it again, just so nobody says I'm making this up.
في الآخرة أول ما بنموت مفيش اعضاء تناسليه ولا اعضاء اخراج، مفيش براز، مفيش بول. انا بتكلم اهو بقى بتفاصيل التفاصيل علشان الحته دي عامله مشكله وكله.
Says I'm speaking with detail of detail because this issue has been made a lot of problems. And Houston is obviously more mathematically inclined than I am. And so he is already looking at the mathematical implications of 19,604 women over 365 days. Now, another thing to warn you about, Houston, is that there's actual hadiths that say that with each woman, you're going to spend like 10,000 years with each woman, each one of these. It's not like you're going to just spend a few minutes with this one and go to number 2, number 3, number 4, up to 19,000. No, it's like 10,000 years each one of these encounters is. And you're sitting on these couches, talks about these couches. And yeah, and if you're a Muslim and you're mad at me, go and study it yourself. Don't believe a word that I'm telling you. Go and look it up yourself and leave Islam today. Leave Islam today. Go study it for yourself and leave Islam. Don't believe these guys. So yeah, don't get mad at me. Go study it. Go study it. And leave Islam, okay? Because you're going to find out that I'm right. Somebody's asking about Brother Ray. Yeah, he's doing okay. His wife is doing a little bit better, thank God. Some of the cancer treatment, she's finished it, and she's having a hard time, but they are doing okay. Thank you for asking. God bless you. And I'll try to get more details as well, okay? Okay. This is the first time I've heard about the maids. I thought that's what the boys who don't bleed is for. You're going, again, you're thinking too much. Unfortunately, all of this is in the Quran. It's in the Quran, you guys. So, all right, let's, anyway, so this last guy, he says, bad news, you guys. You're going to get up there. You're not going to have any sex organs or, and there's not going to be any excrement or urine. Okay, so let's look at his number 2 thing. He says,
يعني أدوات التناسلية انتهت وظيفتها الدنيوية.
Okay, he's saying that the reproductive organs, their worldly function has completely ceased. The reproductive organs, the sex organs, their function has completely ceased. That's what this guy says, okay? So I want to play it again, you guys, because just in case there's Muslims who speak Arabic who think I'm making this up.
يعني أدوات التناسلية انتهت وظيفتها الدنيوية.
It says completely, there's no more. And you compare that with what the other guy said, 19,000 women, okay? So
إنما لا يقصد القرآن إن هتبقى فيه علاقات جنسية في الجنة. مفيش علاقات جنسية في الجنة.
Okay, this guy just said, the Quran does not say you're going to have sexual relations in heaven. There are no sexual relationships in heaven. That's what this guy, I'm going to play.
إنما لا يقصد القرآن إن هتبقى فيه علاقات جنسية في الجنة. مفيش علاقات جنسية في الجنة.
There are no sexual relations in heaven. There are no sexual relations in heaven. End of story. So what are you going to be doing with these 19,000 women? I'm going to do crossword puzzles. You're going to talk. You're going to drink tea. 19,600 women. Okay. And you got no, what is this about? Both of these guys are on television. Both of these guys are preaching. Let me just play them for you again. This one.
في الآخرة أول ما بنموت مفيش أعضاء تناسلية ولا أعضاء إخراج، مفيش براز، مفيش بول. انا بتكلم اهو بقى بتفاصيل التفاصيل علشان الحته دي عامله مشكله وكله.
Okay. There's where he says, "When the minute you die, you got no more sex organs, bless you, or digestive organs, I guess, you know." And so,
يعني ادوات التناسليه انتهت وظيفتها، انتهت وظيفتها الدنيويه.
yeah, that means her sexual organs have completely ended their function.
انما لا يقصد القرآن ان هتبقى في علاقات جنسية في الجنة. مفيش علاقات جنسية في الجنة.
No sexual relations in heaven. There are no sexual relations in heaven. That's worth watching this again.
يعني ادوات التناسلية.
أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات، مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
That's the 16,900. So anyway, guys, you know, that's the confusion. That's the situation of, you know, you have on the one hand, you got this guy preaching on television, you're going to have 19,000 women. And then the other one's telling you, you're not even going to have sex organs. So which is it? They both Muslims, both on Arabic television, speaking in Arabic. I believe they're both in Egypt too, because they both speak with Egyptian accent. So yeah, that's the and you know, one reason why this is so important. I mean, I know people who became Muslims because of this. I've known people who became Muslims because of these 72 women that are waiting for them up there. Okay, so this is a reality to them. And here, I mean, do they believe it? Let's watch this guy.
The question about the Hur al-Ain. He said the men in Jannah, we know, will be receiving Hur al-Ain. But what about the women? What do they receive?
Well, we are told that they will only receive their husband and one single person. Because by default, women can only love one man. Subhanallah, by nature, Allah created them unable to love more than one man. But Allah created men to have the capability of loving more than one woman. And we are told, and we believe Allah, and all the sisters should have their trust in Allah, that they will be satisfied in paradise. They should not doubt Allah's generosity and reward to them. And having said that, I would have expected this question to come from a sister, not from a brother. So I would have thought that the brother should be happy. But again, it's a valid question. We're told that men are to get their wives in paradise. And by the way, the human wives are far superior in beauty and in status to the man than the Hur al-Ain. The Hur al-Ain are considered to be as servants. But the wife, the human wife that was in this world with you is far superior in beauty and in status.
Awesome. Wow.
Status.
Status. I wonder what that means. I mean, does she get nicer clothes? I mean, what does it mean that she's status? She's she's going to watch. You know, she's going to be there. I've actually heard that she's actually the wife in this world actually gets to open the door. Okay, number 433, but then she's got to wait 10,000 years and then get up after 10,000 years. 444. No, I've heard that. You know, I mean, what's the, you know, but she's going to be more beautiful. She's going to be more beautiful than these 16,900 wives that the husband is going to have. She's not going to get none. She's just going to get her husband, but he's busy with 19,000 other women, you know, and, you know, well, she's the doorkeeper, you know. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what this guy can improve the situation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Many of the translations, especially the Urdu translation, have translated the word hur as beautiful maiden. If the word hur means a beautiful it means a beautiful maiden, then what will the woman get in paradise? Actually,
about al-hur al-ain, which is mentioned many times in the Quran, حور مقصورات في الخيام in Surah Al-Rahman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about one type of the reward that He prepared for the righteous servants in heaven by preparing pure, chaste, untouched women from heaven for the believers when they enter heaven. What happens to one's wife? The Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-mar'atu li-akhiri azwajiha fil jannah." A woman who is married in this life and she is due to enter heaven, and her husband too, they will both enter heaven and they will be married there. If she, for instance, a woman who was married multiple times and all her husbands have made it to heaven, and she too, she will be remarried to the last husband she had in this life. Even though he might have al-hur al-ain, etc., but she will be the queen of all. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a question that the sisters worry about, because the hadith and how the scholars describe the beauty of al-hur al-ain, as they mention in the Quran, that she cannot compete with them. The good news is that she will be the prettiest of all. She will be the best of all of them, and she will be the queen of those al-hur al-ain.
Okay, so she's going to be like the queen of these women who are going to be sleeping with her husband. So just out of curiosity, okay, you got 19,604 women, and there is that hadith that says that he's going to spend 10,000 years with each one of them. So one thing I want to do is I want to see times 10,000, just to see 10,000 years. So he will, to go through all of them, he has to spend 196 million years. No, 196 and 40,000 years. Here's the number if you guys know math better than me. This is, because there is a hadith that says that he's going to spend like 10,000 years with each one of these. Like the one, number 14 comes in, it's 10,000 years that she's going to be in there. To go through 19,000 women, or the 16,000 that you have, if you married 4 women, so you get 70 plus 70 and all that, it would take 196 million years for him to go through all of them. So his wife has to wait 196 million years to see her husband, because he's going to be busy with these other women for 196 million years. And so unless there's some provision that I don't understand, that maybe she gets, since she is the queen, that she gets to go in between the hur al-ain, she gets, each time one goes in, she gets 10,000 years also, and then the next hur comes in, and she gets another 10,000 years with them, and so these are questions, logical questions to be asking, okay? But to go through all of those women would take 196,040,000 years. And so, yeah. So there you have it, you guys. And let me see if I can find that hadith about will Muslim, how much time does spend with each of the virgins of paradise? So 72 virgins, okay. Making sense of one of the rewards. Does the Quran really promise 72 virgins? Okay, making sense of this. Okay. Question, I don't understand the reward of 72 virgins. How do I make sense of this? Is there actually any basis in Islam for it? And how can I explain it to non-Muslims? Salam alaikum wa rahmah. Okay. Pray this finds you in the best of health and faith, making sense of paradise. Paradise is a place of perpetual and ultimate bliss. Its reality cannot be fathomed by our minds in this life, as confirmed by the Hadith Qudsi. I have prepared for my righteous servant what no eye has seen and no ear has heard and has not entered into the human heart. That Qudsi Hadith, you guys, is, let me just say, that Qudsi Hadith, okay. That Qudsi Hadith is from 1 Corinthians 2:9, by the way. So again, Muhammad quotes the Apostle Paul. Muhammad loves the Apostle Paul, you guys. Muhammad loves the Apostle Paul. And Muslims don't like him. Muhammad loved him. He quoted him so much. Here's another place where Muhammad quotes the Apostle Paul. Okay, and this is a Qudsi Hadith. Wow. Okay, this is worth sniping and making a thing. Okay. Snipping. Okay, sorry. Okay. 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 No eye has seen, you guys. Muhammad quoting the Apostle Paul. Word for word. Unbelievable. Muhammad quoting Paul again and again and again and again. Okay. Okay. So in reality, we cannot really make sense of anything in paradise. Our minds simply do not have. Yeah, I think you can. That is not to say the pleasures of paradise are metaphorical. They are literal and real, both physical and spiritual. We are certain of this. Yet we do not grasp the reality, each type of pleasure. For instance, the 72 virgins. The basis of this reward is the number 72, is a hadith narrated by Sunan al-Tirmidhi. And Muhammad said, a martyr has 6 unique traits. He is forgiven immediately. So if you go blow yourself up, especially if you take some Jews and Christians with you, you'll be forgiven immediately. He sees his seat in paradise. He is saved from the punishment of the grave. He is granted safety from the great terror of the day of judgment. A crown of honor is placed on his head, a ruby of which, better than this life and all it contains, he is married to 72 maidens of paradise, and he is allowed to intercede for 70 relatives. Dude, that guy hit the lottery, man. It's like, notice there is no particular emphasis on the hadith on 72 maidens. It is one of several types of rewards given to the martyr. Likewise, Muslims do not go about their day-to-day lives thinking of the maidens of paradise. Oh, yeah? They are not obsessed in the way they are made out to be. Well, the Quran is very descriptive, very, very descriptive about what these women look like. And because of mixed company, I'm not going to tell you, but I think you all know what the Quran says about them. It is very descriptive about what these women look like. Okay. And it's also worth mentioning what is meant to be a martyr in Islamic tradition is not what's commonly portrayed in Western media, namely one who dies committing an act of terrorism. That's merely propaganda, and it is a lie. Terrorism has no place in Islam, and Islamic scholars have unequivocally condemned it as the highest manner time and time again, even though Muhammad did it time and time again. The concept of martyrdom then is understood properly as something valued by all religions and societies, noble and chivalrous, as it resembles the ultimate sacrifice one can make to serve his creator and fellow man. For example, in American history, for example, figures like Patrick Henry was praised as courageous and honorable for statements like, give me liberty or give me or give me death. And dude, somebody gets paid to write this? Unbelievable. Different dimensions of the rewards. Okay. Okay, let me see if we get to the beautiful hadith. Let me see. Allah knows best. It's always best to end this with Allah knows best because anyway, so Yeah, so people do believe this. So, um, so yeah, that's what Muhammad said, you guys. And yes, I did math, Tiger, and I had the help of my calculator. So you mean 72 virgins are not the same as liberty? Give me liberty or give me. Well, actually, I said give me liberty or give me 72 virgins. That means that the original saying is death. Give me liberty or give me death. So I actually asked how to explain Jannah to non-Muslims. Surely that will go. You know what though, Houston, that is actually there's lots of people who are very attracted to that, and they say, yeah, I want that. I could show you Muslims who are saying, dude, I don't want to go to this heaven. All you're doing is nonstop 24-hour a day, not 24. I mean, for 10 million years, 93 million years. No, that was 100. How many years is that? 196 million years. 196 million 40,000 years. So you start over again. Start over again. I mean, that's simple enough. Yes, Muhammad Ali fell for it. I hope before he died that he repented, because he had some Christian influence in his life. So his name is Cassius Clay, who was I'm sure you guys have watched the video by David Wood about that. So, and so many other, I don't know if Will Smith has fallen for it, or Janet Jackson, or what's her name? That one girl that kept getting in trouble all the time. That actress who was in she was a Disney actress, always getting in trouble, drinking.
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan. All of these pretended, hopefully, what's her name? The one that died. The one, nothing compares to you. What's her name? Sinead O'Connor. Yeah. So, but, all right, you guys. Well, we were on for an hour and 7 minutes. I didn't think we were going to make it that long. No, Brittany, she did. I think she was married to a Muslim man. That last guy she was with, I think, was a Muslim. His name was Arab, and I think he was Muslim. Brittany's last husband, but they divorced. But I can't remember. His name was. He had a Muslim name, so I think she may have had a Muslim boyfriend, but I don't know if she became a Muslim. But she used to go to church, and I know all of them claim that, but she seemed to be, I know, more serious about going to church than a lot of the others. But anyway. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out. Toxic interview between Muhammad Ali and David Frost. Yeah. Bill Gates' daughter also married a Muslim. Well, you know what, you guys, things are getting so crazy, so many of these big stars, their kids are like, dude, they don't know if they're boys or girls and stuff, and their parents are encouraging them down this road, messing up their lives. And whenever there's this falling away from Christianity, from Christian teaching, that's why the Muslims come here. They laugh at us. I think it's almost the judgment of God, and one of the punishments in Deuteronomy 28, if you read Deuteronomy 28, there's these chapters, the blessings if you follow the law, and the curses if you don't follow the law. And the blessings is like in one chapter. The curses are 3 chapters. And one of the curses is you'll watch your children be carried off into slavery. That's one of the curses for forsaking God, is that you'll watch your children be carried off into slavery. And, look at our kids. They're enslaved to drugs. They're enslaved to pornography. They're enslaved to perversion. They're enslaved to philosophies, satanic philosophies. They're enslaved. They're carried off into slavery. And okay, the book on government. one who fights, show off, and gain reputation. The first of men will be decided on the day of judgment, will be a man who died as a martyr. He shall be brought. Just shows you how the satanic origins of this. So, all right, you guys, you know what? I'm going to play the videos again. I just want to play the videos again in case we got some Arabs who came in, because I want the Arabs to see this.
بزوجة فعندك واحدة زوجة زوجتك اللي في الدنيا ثم 70 حورية معها حلالك ثم مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة أصبح كم عندك من امرأة؟
Okay, you're married to one, and then for that one, you get 72 women. He didn't say nothing about martyrdom there. He says if you just had one wife in this world, you get 70 women, and then each one of them gets 70.
أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات مع كل واحدة 70 حورية مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة كم صار الجميع؟
They're all thinking there in their heads, okay, that's 70 times 7. It's like, and then you come to this.
في الآخرة أول ما بنموت مفيش أعضاء تناسلية ولا أعضاء إخراج، مفيش براز، مفيش بول. أنا بتكلم أهو بقى بتفاصيل التفاصيل علشان الحتة دي عاملة مشكلة وكله. يعني أدوات التناسلية انتهت وظيفتها الدنيوية، إنما لا يقصد القرآن إن هتبقى فيه علاقات جنسية في الجنة. مفيش علاقات جنسية في الجنة.
No sexual relations in heaven. No sexual relations. I didn't say it. That's what the video says. So, one of them tells you you're going to get 19,000 women. One says, oops, you're not going to have any parts to deal with that. Okay, you guys. I know it's on the one hand, it's a little bit funny, but there's people who actually believe this stuff, and there's people who are dying. There's a story that there was a kid who was going to blow himself up, and in the West Bank, and then the Israeli soldiers saw him, and they told him take the vest off, because they had the explosive vest. And the poor kid, he's saying, well, how am I going to get to 72 women? I know they believe this. I've heard it. Yeah, so it's not a joke. It's very serious, very sad. And if you're a Muslim and you're angry, I'm glad you're angry, but please don't get mad at me. Please go look in your books. See if Muhammad said these things. See if it's in the hadith. And then, see if you want to still follow Muhammad after you have discovered, paradise. Okay, here's another explanation. There's a hadith that says a man gets 100 virgins in paradise. I read the hadith is classified sahih. Okay, we have not come across classification of hadith that you mentioned in that question. The men of this hadith, in my full view, fulfill the conditions for authentic hadith. Perhaps Al-Maqdisi was referring to the condition, okay? And this hadith says that men are going to have 100 women, okay? Okay, not 70, but 100. Okay, so there's some concern. Is it going to be 70 or 100? Okay, is the hadith that says it's going to be 100, is that a sahih hadith? And there seem to be saying that the hadith does meet the criteria to be a sahih hadith, meaning that it's not 70, it is 100 women that you get. So, okay, I read the hadith is classified sahih. Okay, hadith Tabarani Awsat from Abu Hurairah that men will go to 100 virgins in a single morning in the Jannah. Oh, okay. Now this is a different. Now you see, this completely throws the monkey wrench into everything that I've been saying about the 10,000 years, because look what it says. Okay. Salam alaikum, Sheikh. it is a hadith in Tabarani Awsat from Abu Huraira that men will go to 100 virgins in a single morning in Jannah. I have read this hadith. It is classified Sahih by Imam Albani, but in other book, Tafsir, Ibn Kathir, with authentication from Hafiz Zubair Ali, the isnad is da'if. So the above hadith, is it authentic or da'if? You know, this isn't really asking, am I going to get 70 or 100 women? He's saying, am I going to be able to have sex with 100 women in one morning? That's his question. And the answer, we really should find out what the Sheikh said. We have not come across the classification of the hadith that you mentioned in this question. However, Al-Hafidh al-Dahya al-Maqdisi said about this hadith in his book, Sayaful Jannah, Sifat al-Jannah, the men in the chain of narrators of this hadith, in my view, fulfill the conditions set for authentic hadith. Perhaps Maqdisi was referring to the conditions of authenticity set by Al-Bukhari. Ibn Kathir quoted this statement in his tafsir, interpretation of the Quran, but did not object to it. Additionally, Al-Qayyim said in his book, its chain of narrators is authentic. In any case, since you have read that Albani or other scholars have classified this hadith as sahih, then you should have acted according to their ruling on the hadith, and you did not need to ask questions about it. The scholars of hadith differed in their view when classifying different narrations of a hadith, whether they are authentic or da'if, and there is nothing wrong with this. From the benefit of hadith classification, read fatwa. So this hadith, you guys, just to clarify, it's not about if he gets 70 or 100 women. This This hadith was not about if you get 70 or 100 women. This hadith is about, will you be able to have sex with 100 women in one morning? See, that changes everything, you guys, because I've been telling you each encounter is going to be 10,000 years, because I've heard that too. In which case, you know, the wife has to wait 196 million years before she can be with her husband again, because he's got to go through these 16,000 women, you know. But here, we just heard that you actually could be able to take 100 women in one morning. And that's a sahih hadith. And according to Ibn Kathir and Qayyim and everything, this, you know, so, okay. So, you know, we're always learning, you know. Okay, let's see. Our brother, Truth Defender, sent me something. Here are some incredible things in heaven waiting for the mu'mineen, the believers. Book by Imam Ghazali. The Sunnis consider this epic as next to the Quran. According to the Prophet Muhammad, the hurs of paradise will be pure women, free of menstruation, urine, stool, cough, and children. Okay, so they don't have kids or poop or the hurs will sing in paradise on divine purity and praise. We are the most beautiful hurs, and we are honored, and we are for the honored husband. The hurs will sing in paradise on divine purity and praise. We are the most beautiful hurs, and we are for the honored husbands. Muhammad said that an inmate of paradise will have sexual strength of 70 men. Muhammad said the inmate of paradise will have 500 hurs, 4,000 unmarried women, and 8,000 widowed women. Each of them will keep embracing him for the duration of his whole worldly life. You guys, I'm not trying to make things confused or harder than we are trying to understand here. And I don't want to have to go try to I think it's called matriculation. No, it's to have to add all of this up and put it in the context of what we've heard today about the 70 times, we had 16,900 and now we're hearing about these other 9,000. And it's like, dude, so anyway, but it's important to read and to know what these, okay, it says, an inmate of paradise will have 500 hurs, not just 70. 4,000 unmarried women. So they'll also have 4,000 unmarried women. And 8,000 widowed women. Now, this is interesting. Now, this is in paradise. There's going to be widowed women in paradise. And they get 8,000. Each one of the men in paradise gets this. Each one will keep embracing him for the duration of his whole worldly life. An appropriate Sahih hadith for coping with sexual urge of 500 huris, 4,000 unmarried women, and 8,000 widowed women for each Muslim mu'min, believer. Okay? And so they will be singing, so that, they're going to sing a song about divine purity and praise. And they're going to be singing, we are most beautiful hers, and we are for the honored husband. So if anybody wants to write a song, I write music, but not like that. So, okay. Thank you, brother, Truth Defender, taking things to another dimension. Shoot. Okay, guys. Well, I think one more time, just in case some Muslims came in, or Arabic, the book by Imam Ghazali. Wow. Wow. Imam Ghazali is so highly regarded. He's so highly regarded. He really is very intelligent and stuff, but man. Just in case, we got some new Arabs here. Let's see. Let's see. One more time. Let's watch.
بزوجة فعندك واحدة زوجتك اللي في الدنيا، ثم 70 حورية معها حلالك، ثم مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، أصبح كم عندك من امرأة؟ هذا أقل واحد. طيب لو فرضنا عندك 4 زوجات، مع كل واحدة 70 حورية، مع كل حورية 70 وصيفة، كم صار الجميع؟
زي ما حصل مع سيدنا المغيرة بن شعبة رضي الله عنه، هذا الصحابي الجليل لما بعثه رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى نصارى نجران، يقول المغيرة بن شعبة فلما قدمت عليهم قالوا تقرؤون في
The question about the Hur al-Ain.
About
بسم الله
Sorry guys.
السائل يقول يعني للرجال في الجنة الحور العين، ماذا للنساء في الجنة؟
جاء عند في بعض الروايات كما ذكر ابن القيم رحمه الله في حادي الأرواح أن المرأة التي لم تتزوج أنها في الجنة تخير من الأزواج ما شاءت، فإذا كانت تريد أن تتزوج في الدنيا رجلا صالحا تقيا ذا خلق ودخلت الجنة وهو دخل الجنة فلها إذا اختارت أن تتزوج، وأيضا لها أن تختار ما تشاء من الأزواج، فإذا قالت أريد فلان في الجنة فإنه تستحقه والحمد لله. وقد ذكر ابن تيمية رحمه الله أن حديث لكل رجل من أهل الجنة زوجتان من الحور العين يقول هذه غير زوجاته التي معه التي كانت قد أسلمت ودخلت الجنة معه إذا كان يريدها والله أعلم. وعلى هذا فالمرأة تختار ما شاءت من الأزواج في الجنة.
لكن
وإذا كان زوجها لا تريد وهو زوجها ودخلت الجنة فلها أن لا تختاره، كما ذكر ذلك غير واحد من أهل العلم. وإن قال قائل لم يذكر الله سبحانه وتعالى ذلك في القرآن ولم يذكره النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، فنقول لأن الله سبحانه وتعالى حيي، والرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في الصحيحين من حديث أبي سعيد الخدري أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أشد حياء من المرأة في خدرها، وإن كان لا يصيبه الحياء فيتفصد عرقا في الليلة الشاتية من أدبه صلى الله عليه وسلم وحيائه. ولكنك
Okay, so that guy's just saying, what does a woman get? Well, if she makes it to paradise and her husband makes it, but she didn't really like him here on earth and she doesn't want him, she doesn't have to be married to him, but she can choose who she wants to marry. And she can marry anybody she likes if he wants her. Yeah, boy, yay, yeah, boy, yay. You're not supposed to think. That's why the Quran says don't think. You think and it causes headaches. You know, who can do all this math? You know, look at all the different mathematical problems we've had tonight trying to keep up with this. It's like, I finally figured it out. We did the math, came up with 16,000, 10,000 and all this stuff. And then there's that other hadith that Lewis sent, and it's not another 8,000 women that we didn't know about, another 500 widows. And so, you know, it's better not to think. Just Ibn Majah says, Abu Umana reported, Allah's messenger says, Allah will not admit anyone into paradise, but Allah the mighty and glorious will marry him with 72 wives. 2 will be from virgin Hur al-Ain with big eyes, and 70 will be his inheritance from the people of hellfire. So there's also those from hellfire. You got the widows, you got the you know, the other ones, and then you got the ones from hellfire too. Every one of them will have pleasant, I'm not going to say it, you can guess. And He-Man will have the sexual organ that does not bend down during, okay, you guys, sorry, you guys. Hisham Khalid said the words out of his inheritance due from the denizens of the fire mean men who will enter the fire, and the inmates of the paradise will inherit their wives. Okay, just as Pharaoh's wife will be inherited by the believers. Okay, thank you. See, you learn, helps to see. Yes, you know, they say there's no such thing as a stupid question. Okay, I was in journalism school. That's what they told us. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Watch CNN if you don't think there's such thing as a stupid question. But yeah, so all right, you guys. Well, this was enlightening, to say the least. I wasn't really planning on going there, but I had these videos, and especially the ones that say that when you get to when you get to paradise, there's no sexual relations. This guy is saying there's no sexual, and it's a Muslim guy saying this, you guys. It's not, you know, Christian missionaries. And, you know, after you get all these promises and then you find out, oops, little detail, didn't tell you. So, all right. You know, you compare that, you know, compare that with what the Bible says, you know, and maybe we should end it with what the Bible says about heaven. That aberration, yes, this one guy says there's no organ involved in this. And, but anyway, let's go back to the Bible here and just, the Bible says is that we're going to be with God. Jesus said there's not going to be marriage in heaven. We're going to be like the angels. Okay. And we are going to be in God's presence, and we're going to be with God, and there's going to be a relationship with God, which is something that you don't have in Islam. You don't have that in Islam because God is a father to nobody, but our God is our father. You know, our God is a father who wants children, a father who wants sons. And And so he wants us to be his sons in the image of his son. Perfect joy, perfect peace, perfect love, perfect fellowship, perfect relationships. And this is what we have to look forward to. And most of all, you know, like when Jesus spoke to the thief on the cross next to him before he died, the man said, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus said, verily, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. Today you'll be with me in paradise. So the key word in that is with me. And Jesus, when he was praying to the Father in John 17, he said, Father, I will that those that you have given me to be with me where I am. So Jesus said, I'm going to go prepare a place for you. Then I'm going to come back to take you so that you can be with me. The main thing about heaven is being with the Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah. So that's a big difference between Muhammad's paradise and the real paradise. So, all right, you guys. Well, we've been here for an hour and a half, which is not bad for a Sunday night. So, yeah. Oh, yes. Don't bleed. The word in Arabic is bleed, Truth Defender. Yenzifun. So, yeah. So, all right, you guys. I hope there were some Muslims watching. I know they don't like this subject, but you need to know, and you need to go and study this out, you know, and find out if what I'm saying is true. You know, these are your sheikhs, these are your imams saying this stuff. So please look into it and leave Islam. Leave Islam today. Come to the true and living God. He is alive. He loves you. And you don't have to wait to get to paradise to have a relationship with him. You can have a relationship with him right now because he's alive and he is here right now and he loves you with an everlasting life. Love wants to give you everlasting life. So if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Yesur sa'idni. Yesur samahni. Yesur udkhul albi. He loves you. We love you. And thank you for being with us.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.